In less than 60 days, I'm driving this 64 Mercury Marauder 3,000 miles across America. The car hasn't ran and drove in over 30 years. Come along on the journey as we get this car ready to take on a road trip for the 100th year anniversary of Route 66 and the Poverty Tour, along with Pole Barn Garage and other YouTubers. It's gonna be a blast. You're not gonna want to miss it. So the way I ended up with this car is actually kind of a funny story. I was scrolling on Marketplace and happened upon a different car and loaded up the truck and trailer and headed down to pick it up. And I got there and the car was exactly what was described and everything, but I looked over and behind a fence, I could see just the back section of a quarter panel that said Montclair. And I just knew that that was an old Mercury, but honestly, I'd never really paid attention to the Montclair or the big body mid-60s Mercuries before. So I asked the gentleman, hey, what's that car over there? And he said, oh, that's my lead sled. And I said, oh, that sounds like a cool car. I'd love to just check it out. You know, I'm a car guy. I want to see what it is. And so we took a walk over and went behind the fence there. And he said, yeah, this is one, you know, I've been saving for myself for quite a few years. And I asked him, you know, how long he'd had it. He thought about 10 years. And I said, okay, well, you know, is this car for sale? And he was like, no, you know, this is one I've been keeping for myself. He's like, I'm going to fix this one up and, you know, make a nice car out of it. And I was like, well, you know, I would buy the other car today, you know, the one I came to look for. I said, but this car here, this is the one I really want. And he was like, well, you know, I told my wife I've been wanting to clean up around here a little bit and everything, and kind of, you know, went back and forth a bit, but ultimately I stuck my hand out and named a price. And, you know, I guess it was a price he just couldn't refuse. And he stuck his hand out as well. And we agreed, and he decided he was going to sell me this car. And at that point, I knew exactly what I was going to do. I had been planning on going on the Poverty Tour, going on the road trip this summer. It's the 100th year anniversary of Route 66. Why not revive a beautiful 64 Mercury Marauder and drive it on the Poverty Tour across America? So loaded the car up, got it home, put it right here in this spot, and here's where it's been sitting ever since. And I want you all to come along in the next series of videos as we get this car ready to make that 3,000 mile trip. And we're going to bring you guys along for the ride. We're going to show you everything we have to do to get this thing ready for the trip. I think it's going to be a great one. So let's get the car moved up to the shop and we'll get to work on figuring out what we have to work with and what we need to get to make this thing roadworthy for that trip. Now we got her up here by the shop, so I'll give you guys a look around the whole car. We'll talk about it just a little bit. We're missing all but the one hubcap on the back passenger side wheel, but I've checked eBay. You can get them on there decently cheap. Again, this is the Montclair trim, so from what I can tell, this is like the mid-level car. There was the Monterey, the Montclair, and then the Park Lane. Rear bumper is very straight, but for whatever reason, the chrome decided to let loose on it. Of course, the plastic rear lenses are all pretty well trashed. From what I can tell, this car probably sat outside for some period of its life. The story I got was the gentleman bought it and then he stored it inside for a number of years and then ended up moving. And so the car had to go outside. So it's been outdoors for probably the last 4 to 5 years estimate of time. We have the 2-door hardtop fastback option, as they would call it. So both the rear window and the front window actually roll down, and so you get that full open side window area on both sides of the car. It's just a mean looking ride, y'all. I love the body style on this thing. Hey guys, just wanted to take a second here and ask you to please hit the subscribe button. I'm working on growing the channel this year. We've got a ton of projects. And as you guys may know, it does take quite a bit of work to make these videos. So you guys hitting the subscribe button lets me know that you're interested in the content and that you want to see more. It's completely free to hit the button below. It's also free if you hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of the future videos. Also, if you like the video, drop a like below. Don't forget to leave a comment. You can make a suggestion about something I could do better in the video. You could tell me about a car you had in the past, or maybe you owned one of the cars that I'm building in this video. Very cool car. Very slick body lines. We have the trim for this door. We have the trim. All the missing trim is here. There's 2 pieces there laying up on the car. And we have some more kind of laying around. Let's have a little look at the inside and see what kind of shape it's in. We got a loose piece of trim up there. The door may be sagging just a bit. We'll have to handle that, but oh, she's pretty dirty. The headliner is fallen down, pretty much all the way gone. The sun visors are holding on for dear life. We've kind of got one bad spot here in the seat. It looks like the sun just damaged and split the seams there on the seat, so it's got some rough spots. I'm already seeing multiple spiders, so cleaning this thing out is going to be a chore. The dash cluster is actually in pretty decent shape. It does have some pitting just from moisture and sitting for a long time, but it looks very complete. Only minor cracks in the actual dash pad itself. Looks like the glove box is intact. It's actually open right now. I see some paperwork in there, so we'll have to check that out here in a bit. Very complete car, very original looking car. I don't see much of anything missing on it. It looks like it's just been sitting for quite a long time without being touched. Now let's see if we can get the hood popped and we'll show you guys what's going on under there. I'm told this car has the 390 big block FE V8 in it. Would have been around 300 horsepower and about 420 foot-pounds of torque, which is pretty good to keep this old girl moving around town. It does have an automatic transmission on the column, but let's get that hood opened up and see how complete it is and see what we have going on, what we're going to have to fix. I don't know if they had the old hood release-a-later 5000 on these or not. I'm going to say probably not, so we'll have to search under the front. Alrighty, let's see. How do you get the hood up on this old girl? Looks like there might be, oh, there it is. Not too bad. First time I'm popping the hood on this thing. Well, obviously I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there's a secondary latch, of course. All right. We've got an engine in here. We've got power steering, power brakes. Looks to be mostly complete. This is the 390 Super Marauder engine. So, again, I believe that's about 300 horsepower. It is the 4-barrel variety. Everything in the car looks to be fairly complete. We've got some hose clamps on the radiator hoses that look like they've certainly been replaced. One of them is just completely kinked. I don't know how that ever would have flowed anything. So hopefully that's not a sign for what's to come as far as we find going on this thing. Still has the old bag over there for the radiator overflow, and wires don't look too chewed up. We are missing that 4-barrel carburetor, which I was aware of. But overall, it looks pretty good. Let's get you guys over in here and take a look at this engine and see if we can check the oil, check some juices on her, and see if looks like she's in good health, or if we're going to have to tear in a little further on this thing. So check out, still got the decals on the golden valve cover, Mercury valve cover over here that say 390 Super Marauder. And there's that radiator hose I was telling you guys about. There's no way that was flowing any kind of flow whenever this car was running. Pretty complete. The power steering pump and reservoir down there. Let's try to find the old dipstick on this thing and see what kind of health the engine was in whenever she was put away. Well, after about 2 minutes of looking, I finally found the dipstick. It's just this little rubber piece right here. It looks like maybe the original dipstick had broken off. And so they got this little job going on there. Okay. Not too terrible. Definitely black, definitely needs to be changed, but as y'all can see, maybe if I can focus in on it, it's in the hash marks for being full, so that's a good sign. Old radiator cap is popped up here. Let's see, this doesn't look to be original, of course, but about as I expected. She's dry as a bone. We are missing our Autolite 4100 carburetor, but that's no big deal because I got a surprise for you guys in the shop for a little later. And this here is about the worst rust I've seen on the entire car. Of course, it's in the battery tray area, and you can see we've got some, flaky rust there. Of course, the battery tray itself. So that's the worst possible spot I've seen on the entire car. Very cool old sticker here. To prevent electrical system damage when using a battery charger or booster, always connect positive to positive and negative to negative. Well, I never would have guessed. Yeah, I know, I didn't save the best for last because we've already taken a look in the engine bay, but aren't y'all always curious what you find in the trunk of these old cars that have been sitting around? Maybe a story it has to tell, or just a piece of information that might add to the story of the car. Who knows? So let's take a look inside the trunk, which I did have to ratchet strap down because unfortunately this car didn't come with a set of keys. So we are going to have to figure out how we can get either a new lock or get this lock rekeyed for the trunk. Let's get her opened up here. Oh, that didn't sound good. Okay. Well, there's definitely not nothing back here. I won't say there's much of anything, but it's definitely not nothing. Pretty cool. We've got our original gold air cleaner here. I'm not seeing a ton of rust. Usually I like to look for rust along the drip rail here. We definitely have a little bit of an area right here, and then in the corner there, a little in the corner. So definitely not completely rust free back here, but overall she's not in bad shape. I can see a little bit of daylight through the trunk floor, so that's no good, but nothing that can't be fixed and nothing that's going to stop us from our journey. We've already committed to making this road trip, so we're in it now. Well, all right, y'all, check it out. Here's the trunk. There's our original 4-barrel carburetor air cleaner, so somebody must have just snagged the carb off of this thing, and there's the air cleaner right there in the trunk. We've got a spare, which I'm hoping is a 14. Yep, that is a 14, so that's a spare. We're actually going to get a tire and mount us a spare tire on that thing. That one looks like it's probably never been used. Looks like maybe at some point back in the day somebody was having an issue with the power steering, or, well, this looks like a GM power steering pump, but I don't know. Maybe somebody was having an issue with power steering. We got, well, if you can tell, 5W30, so some old Castrol oil, drive hard. I don't know about that. Original bumper jack still here. There's some interior pieces up there, the spot where the spare tire goes. Not much of anything to mention back here, so here's that little bit of rust I was telling you guys about right here, and then some right up in that corner, but that's nothing that's going to stop us on this journey. All right, I'm going to throw on a pair of gloves, grab my shop vac here, and go to town on getting this interior cleaned up. We want to be able to get in and get around so we can fix stuff and get electrical things figured out and whatnot. So we got to get all the spiders and mold and all the crusty stuff out of the way. There's a piece of trim there we don't want to lose, and some kind of piece of plastic that looks to be a little bit newer, but what I wanted to do is pause for a minute and show you guys we do have some paperwork here in the glove box. Can't really tell what it is. Oh, this is from a hospital. Tuesday, June 23rd of 1987 at 12:30 p.m. So, seeing that this piece of paperwork is from 1987 and it was in the glove box, seems like we could assume that around that time might have been about the last time this car was on the road. Oh, here's an upholstery shop, Porter's Upholstery, and there's a phone number on it that doesn't include a zip code, which is just a thing of the last few years, but still pretty cool. What else do we have? Oh, more of the upholstery cards. I wonder what the chances of the person who had this car maybe either did upholstery or was good friends with this person, because there's just a whole stack of their business cards in here. I'll lift the seat up here because I keep finding a trend here. We've got another entire jug unopened of Castrol GTX 10W30 motor oil, and another quart jug here that looks like it's just about ready to explode that's empty. And I'm not a betting man, but I'd say this car probably has an oil consumption issue, and that's about why they would have had all that oil in here. Just feeling the floor pan here. We've got some old trash we can throw away. Well, guys, hopefully that's not a sign that our engine's tired and wore out, because we'll we've got a 3,000 mile trip to make in this thing in just about 2 months. So if she's wore out, then we're going to have our hands full and trying to figure out what to do about that, because I'm dead set on taking this old girl on the road trip this summer, and I think she just needs to be got back on the road and deserves to be on the road. So we'll do whatever it is that we have to do to bring her back to life and get her on down the road. I think it would serve us right to go ahead and tear the rest of this old headliner down. We're going to try to do everything we can to save the dome light fixture there, but this is going to do nothing but make a mess and get in our way when we're trying to drive. Y'all can see I'm already working on getting the interior cleaned up here. I know this is about the least priority we could possibly be working on, but I definitely want to be able to get in and out of this thing without worrying about catching some kind of virus. We got the trunk mostly cleaned out on her. Went ahead and lubed up the hinges up there. They were sticking a little bit. We did find us just a little spot of rust right there. You can see the gravel through, but overall, the old trunk pan's not in bad shape. Got a little bit up there in the corner, as y'all can see. But overall, not terrible at all. We also went ahead and cleaned up the whole interior. So the door panels and seats and everything cleaned up pretty nice on this whole thing. There's a couple of rips and tears, but nothing too bad. Overall, I'm pretty happy with it. With the inside of the car and the trunk space all cleaned up, let's jump here under the hood. There it is. Let's vacuum up all the rat poop and dirt dauber nests and everything under here. Then we'll be ready to move this old girl into the shop. All right. Got the engine bay all vacuumed up here. Of course, didn't really wash it, but we got all the loose, nasty stuff, especially up off the intake and everything. Luckily, whoever had this car before and took the carburetor off, we don't really know who did. The guy got it from, thought it was missing when he got it, but he couldn't remember. Or at least that's what he said. So, but carburetor intake's been covered up at least, which is good. Everything looks to be very complete. All the wiring looks to be in good shape. So pretty stoked about this thing. Let's get it moved into the shop and we'll get it wrapped up for today. So we got the Mercury in the shop and she's ready to start. All the mechanical work, brakes, wheels, tires, engine. Of course, we got the interior cleaned up, but we're gonna have to diagnose all the wiring, make sure all the lights work. Pretty much everything it's gonna take to get this car that's been off the road for 30, possibly even 40 or more years, ready for a 3,000 mile road trip across America. And with that, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end off the video. This is kind of the intro to this project and this goal. So if you guys want to see all the videos that lead up to us going on the road trip and including the road trip, hit the like and subscribe button. You're gonna wanna see more of this. I already know this is gonna be an awesome, fun project and I wanna bring all of you guys along with me. So y'all have a good one and we'll see you in the next one where we jump in on the mechanicals.